Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, same here. I'm falling out of love with it, really. Otherwise, that was my game when I was a kid. Before I discovered football. Assalamu alaikum everyone, hope you're well. Hope you're keeping warm. What a lovely evening.
No, they're still playing. They need 82 runs on 77 balls.
Oh wow.
And 5 outs. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening everyone, hope you're well. It's Mr. Ali with his weekly community wellbeing show on a Tuesday evening. I hope you keep being well and enjoying the lovely weather that we have in recently. And just want to, as always, start off the show by sharing with you the latest COVID figures that we have. Unfortunately, because of the Delta variant, there has been an increase week on week for the last 6 weeks now. And we are now up to 3,116 positive cases in Birmingham, an increase of 614 compared to the week previous. In terms of where we are with the wards that have the highest numbers, please do look out or listen out for those wards that you may live in, that you may work in, or drop your kids to school. So starting off with Selly Park, which has the highest number of positive cases of 537 per 100,000 population, followed by Ladywood, which has 577, followed by Perry Bar, 373, Hall Green, which has 363, followed by Ward End, which has 345, and then Glebe Farm, which has 329. In terms of the success story with the NHS really doing amazingly well is the number of people that are vaccinated now. We have roughly 2/3 of the adult population that have been vaccinated. A huge number of people now are also getting the second vaccine, meaning that they are 95% vaccinated against the coronavirus, which is also effective against the Indian variant. Today we had the mobile vaccine unit both in Ward End and in Small Heath. On Friday we have it at the Ziaul Quran Mosque here in Alum Rock on Boyer Road, and then next week on the Tuesday we have it again over in Ward End Library as well. So this is your prime opportune time for you to go and get yourselves vaccinated, and you don't need an appointment. No one asks you any questions around your immigration status. There are also some translators around as well, so please do take this fantastic opportunity at the same time. And then on the 21st of July, when it's going to be Eid for some people, there's going to be another mobile vaccination unit over in Hodge Hill. We can't get away from the current story that is the World Cup. I was absolutely gutted that England didn't quite make that next step with regards to getting the trophy of the Euro champs, bringing it home. Unfortunately, as always, the professional and the experienced team, that is the Italians, always know how to get the result and get over the line. Fanny, did you watch it at all on Sunday?
Yeah, I think just about everyone else in England. To be honest, I was watching that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I thought when I saw Chiellini pull on that Sacco. In the last 5-10 minutes, I thought this is what you call a wily old defender. And it just wasn't meant to be. The three. And what's sad for me, and of course everyone, all the proper England supporters, is the vile racist abuse that those three black players got for missing a penalty. And that was just uncalled for. We as a nation have come together during this European Championships, and for racism to again rear its ugly head wasn't right, and it has spoiled also sent a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths as well. So please, the true English fans, we need to stand up and let people know that we are not going to stand and tolerate racism any longer as well. So our thoughts and prayers are for everyone, especially the black players are suffering from the racist abuse. But anyway, the reason why we are here, and today I have two guests, and I've got one other guest that's going to be feeding in from the messaging, which is Javed from Alum Rock Community Forum, and we're going to be talking about Chand Raat So obviously, for those of you that are aware, the last Chand Raat here at Eid al-Fitr on Alum Rock was absolute disgrace. Some of those scenes from the early hours where we had young people intoxicated, playing loud music in a residential area, traffic was blocked, people were dancing on the road. That is not something that Alum Rock represents. And then in the meantime, there was also some doors that was being played as well. And this is not the message that we want to send. Eid is a time where we look at the spiritual, the religious background, but at the same time gives us an opportune time for after the small Eid for us to come together and celebrate and commemorate the sacrifice that we made over the last 30 days with fasting and increasing our spirituality, and it's a chance for us to spend that quality time with our family and friends. Whereas the Eid next week, Eid al-Adha, the Eid of sacrifice, again, this is a chance after the lockdown as well for us to come together, and for people to misuse these for their own personal gratification is something that I'm not going to tolerate. And and one of the things that was certainly accused from everyone, whether it was from a police, whether it was from a faith background, whether it's from community, everyone, that we unfortunately didn't play our part to the best of our abilities. And this time round, we're hoping to make a significant difference by working collaboratively with all of the different agencies to make sure that it's going to be a success. And that is the reason why we have Sergeant Paxton to the studios of Radio Awaaz. So a huge warm welcome to you, Sergeant Paxton, to Radio Awaaz, which means this is your voice in Urdu. Maybe before we start, just give a bit of a background to yourself, really, your sort of rank, and where do you currently work?
Okay, so I'm currently hold the rank of sergeant in the West Midlands Police. I'm actually based on a neighbourhood team. I'm actually the neighbourhood sergeant for Bordesley Green Ward area. But with many of the sergeants who serve in these particular wards, I've policed Chand Raat in the past along Alum Rock Rd, so I'm very familiar with the issues that can occur.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I fully agree. So in your experience, normally whether it's Alum Rock Road or Ladypool Road or Stafford Road, what's your impression as a police in terms of how is it been previously, and also we're going to then touch on what measures have we got currently in place, really. So over to you. So what does Chand Raat mean to the police, or what sort of measures do you put in place in order to make sure that the shoppers, but also the community, can go about their business safely?
Oh yeah, so obviously for Chand Raat we'll have a dedicated operation in place. That's put in place every year, and I've worked it last year and the year before on previous Chand Raats. It's basically what we aim to do is to work with the local businesses.
Yeah.
And we'll work with the local people. And what we do is just try to, of course, we acknowledge that people want to come out, they want to celebrate. The vast majority of people that come to Alum Rock Road area, Ladypool Road area, they come to celebrate in a proper manner. They don't behave antisocial in any way, shape or form. But what we do find is sometimes, as with anything, the small minority can cause issues. So what we would like to do is basically just encourage people to, if they are coming to the area to celebrate, and we would encourage that they do so in a manner that's not antisocial. And of course then the more people we get in the area, it brings more vehicles. So anyone who's coming driving a car, can the police stick to the normal traffic regulations? We've had issues with parking in the past, blocking the roads, music, as you've already touched on. So yeah, anyone who's driving to the area, just stick to the traffic regulations and don't behave in an antisocial manner.
And Sergeant, for some reason, everyone thinks as soon as they come to Alum Rock during Chand Raat or Eid, that all the laws of the land are completely dissolved. So parking, speeding, music, they can just do as they please. And you know what? As sort of law-abiding citizens, we are saying, look, hey, please, look, go. They're parked on double yellows, or they're speeding. Do your checks and compound the car if that needs be, or certainly issue some sort of warning. So how delicate of a balance is between you obviously making sure that you don't make it a sort of a gaslight issue and sort of make it a sort of big incident, and also at the same time letting them know that you can't just do whatever you please, whether you're in Alum Rock or Ladypool Road or any parts of Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, as you just said, there is a fine balance to be struck with policing. We fully recognise that it's a celebrated festival. There's a fine balance to strike. We want people to have fun, to enjoy themselves. Yeah, of course we do. But you have to just police as you find. You do give it perhaps a little bit of leeway, but of course, yeah, as you said, the law still stands, still in effect, and we just want people to just behave themselves.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and it is a time for celebration. We can't get away with that, but let's not spoil it for others. But you know, Sergeant Paxton, what we did do, and I must commend the local community, includes Alum Rock Community Forum, includes the Alum Rock Traders Association, Radio ARCF, Awaaz, includes the Salty Traders Association, and other community organisations such as Faith Watch as well. We actually then held a steering group soon after that to make sure that the people that have a vested interest in protecting the residents and the normal commuters of Alum Rock from further such incidents in the Eid that is just coming now, we got our heads together, and I must say that some of the precautions that now and the measures that we have taken in place, everyone's going to be impressed. So I think I'm going to sort of let you sort of describe the amount of police officers that are going to be around, and those that are going to be also on standby for those people that do think that Alum Rock Road is a place to be, and they can come and disturb the area and the peace of the area as well. And that's something that, as a resident of Alum Rock, we are simply not going to tolerate. So over to you, Sergeant.
No, most definitely. So I mean, on the night of Chand Raat and over that particular festival, there is a dedicated police operation put in place. This will be over, as you said, Ladypool Road. You've got Alum Rock Road in this area. It's a dedicated police operation with lots of resources. I myself will be working it, to be honest. I'll be in charge of me and my team. You'll have several teams on. We'll be on patrol up and down the Alum Rock Road, Ladypool Road area. But also, though, as to acknowledge, you mentioned about the traffic issue, the speeding issue. We have had accidents in the past around this to do with this celebration. So we've got dedicated traffic officers also in the area who'll be picking up on that. They will have speed cameras, you'll have proactive officers making traffic stops. And also there will be other response officers, of course, there should we need them. So there is a robust response around any antisocial behaviour. But of course, I really do want to reiterate that we work with local businesses, we work with organisations such as yourself to come on, to spread the word that we do want people to come, celebrate Chand Raat, of course, but just keep the behaviour in a non-antisocial manner. And of course, obey the laws of the land. Yeah,
no, well said, Sergeant. And when we were discussing with Inspector Armour in terms of the resources and the amount of officers that should be deployed during Chand Raat, I must say, I must commend the local police for listening to that steering group and really offering their full support. So we've got 10 officers that are going to be patrolling with community organisations such as the Faith Watch, Alum Rock Community Forum, Alum Rock Traders Association as well on the day. And we've also got about 4 or 5 officers that are going to be on motorbikes as well, so they're able to nimbly move through the traffic. But also a drone will be deployed as well. So as you know, these drones will have that sort of high visibility and be able to scan the whole area. So any flash point that we see, we'll be able to sort of go in there quite quickly and sort of nip it in the bud. And there's further sort of 12 or 13 officers that are going to be just on standby, as you rightly said, just if there is any need for them to sort of come between Ladypool Road, Stafford Road and ourselves, they can do so. And for me, I think for the stretch between Saltley Gate and all the way up to where the petrol station is, I think that's the area that we want to deployed. And we have previously discussed about maybe having this as a one-way, or whether traffic should be sort of even taken away. But at the same time, we listen to the traders as well, and we have to make sure that we don't make it difficult for the shoppers to come, but also for the residents as well, because as you know, some roads are one way. So we have to work within a sort of a way that's going to be helpful for the shoppers, easy for the police to sort of patrol and monitor the situation, but not at the same time be a headache for the residents or for the emergency services as well. So all in all, I think we're sort of looking in a good shape. But generally, really, what sort of flashpoints are you sort of afraid of, or previously that you've sort of seen and it's a cause of concern as you as a police officer, or this is something that you're sort of a bit wary of next week, and maybe we're using our platform to tell our listeners these are the don't do's, don't sort of come in here with your flash cars and thinking this is a sort of a party atmosphere during that particular night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, one of the things which you did touch on was speeding, 100%. I think what we've seen in the past is people flagrantly breaking speeding limits. That causes a danger to pedestrians, local residents, and we have had a number of accidents in the past, so I would encourage people to drive in a safe manner. Of course, not speeding, please pay attention to that. Also, flashpoints outside food outlets at times can be an issue. I'd like to remind people that around social distancing, but also just around their general behaviour, to be honest. I know, as I've said, we're all here to celebrate, of course, but just please just avoid doing it in an antisocial manner and just have regard for local residents, because as you've said, this is a highly residential area, and people coming into the area with noise blaring, music blaring, cars revving, it's not nice. So just pay regard to local residents.
And you know what, the community have your full backing, and vice versa as well. We police by consent.
That's right.
A lot of people that do come in and sort of make it bad and sort of give Alum Rock a bad name and spoil it during that particular night are small, young people from outside the area think, Alum Rock's a place. I remember maybe sort of 15 years ago, you used to be the Birmingham sort of, younger sort of crowd going to Manchester. But now it's, the roles have reversed. People are coming from outside, from West Midlands, also Manchester, London, thinking that Birmingham's now the sort of, the heart of where the bad things happen. And we want to sort of send a strong message to everyone that we're pushing back. We're not going to be, sitting aside and letting, Alum Rock, fall into some sort of disarray.
Yeah, I don't want people to think that they can just come to Alum Rock Road, Ladypool Road, Stratford Road to cause issues or act in an antisocial manner. It's not going to be accepted. It will be robustly but fairly policed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in terms of, I know we'll be there with you, shoulder to shoulder, patrolling on the day. Just making sure, because obviously with our network, we know a lot of people on first name terms as well, and hopefully the evening and the day after the Eid itself is going to pass away without any major incidents and without sort of too many arrests as well. So on behalf of the community, on behalf of Radio ARCF Awaaz, we'd like to sort of put it on record. Thank you for everything that you've done over the last 15 months, but also on previous years, but in particular this Eid as well. I know you've gone sort of through many stuff to make this happen as well. So I know you have to also sort of leave, but I'm going to sort of give you a sort of just final thoughts, final sort of conclusion, message out there to everyone with regards to next Monday and Tuesday. How should they behave, and what's your message to them really in terms of their behaviour?
By all means, we want you to celebrate. You're obviously more than welcome to come to the area to celebrate. We actively encourage that, but please just do it in a responsible manner. Have regard for other motorists, have regard for local residents, and let's celebrate this festival in an appropriate way.
Yeah, thank you. So on behalf of us, an early Eid Mubarak to you as well. So you'll be part of the celebrations, peaceful celebrations, and we'll be here as well. I know you're sort of coming from 3 o'clock onwards.
Yeah.
We will also be here as well, and make sure. And you know what, this is what community policing is. You do it with the consent of and in partnership and collaboration of the local residents and community organisations, and I'm confident that we will have by the end a nice, enjoyable, peaceful experience where families can come and enjoy it and make it a nice, peaceful experience as well. So real thank you, Sergeant Paxton, and to all your colleagues that will be there as well. So on that note, so I don't think there's any further question. Let me just go through sort of some comments to see if there's any comments that have come through. Assalamu alaikum, Bayali, assalamu alaikum to all your guests as well. Great show and great topic as always. Thank you. Finally, thank you, very nice. Good time to get them fines in. Absolutely, we're appropriate now. So I agree, and Sergeant has been quite unequivocal with regards to if anyone's misbehaving, obviously they'll tell them about behaving and staying on the right side, but if need be, they will have the full arm of the law coming down and making sure that the cars are confiscated, or they're told to move on, or whatever fines that they have under the powers, that those will be issued. Chand Raat should be done indoors, specifically for sisters, in a safe environment. And I said this is what we're trying to achieve, that hopefully there's no need for us to have a separate area or a designated space for our sisters. If we can patrol alongside with the police, this should be a safe environment for everyone. And let's not tar everyone with the same brush. Tahir Mahmood, wa alaikum salam, hope you're well. Pops, salam, how are you? Nice to see you again. Yes, absolutely. Yasser, it's up to people. If they want to go up and down Alum Rock Road, you ain't the one paying petrol. Yasser, please grow up, please. Add some maturity to this discussion. It's not about paying for the petrol, it's about behaving and understanding the nature of the area. And if you are disturbing the peace, then no one's going to tolerate that.
It's about being respectful.
Yeah, absolutely. Find the money. I'm not even going to read out your comments, Yasser. I think I'll be having words with you off here about that. Some more sort of comments about this? So, Cal Upon in Borsley Green. Okay, in Borsley Green as well, in terms of the Oh, generally about, okay, so generally I know you maybe use this experience. I know you're not here for specifically talk about Borsley Green, but I think since we're here, it'd be amiss of me not to sort of talk about some of the stuff. I know there's been a couple of hot points with sort of knife crime during the last few months. A few other issues as well with young people sort of getting into trouble. Is there anything, updates that you want to sort of share with the listeners or with our viewers? Anything in particular around Borsley Green? Any new initiatives that the police may be trying to launch and that you need the buy-in or publicity from the radio ARCF Awaaz radio station?
We've had several initiatives recently around knife crime. We continue to work with local schools, where we continue to give our inputs with local schools around knife crime to really educate the local children around it, to stay away from it, and that county line's drug dealing. We continue to carry out proactive operations, and I would just basically encourage any of your listeners, to be honest, if they do have any information around knife crime, around drug dealing, whatever that may be, if they want to get in touch with my team, they can contact West Midlands Police via 101 or Crime Stoppers. Feel free, please, to report any intelligence you might have that might help us. My team are very much concentrating on the issues in Borsley, especially around drugs and knife crime, and we'll continue to do so. So I would like to encourage your listeners to just come forward with any intelligence.
Yeah, no, really, and thank you for everything that you're doing, Sergeant, and to you all your team. And no doubt we'll see each other on Monday evening as well.
No problem, thank you. Can I just put a quick mention?
Yeah, please, that's what it's there for.
It's just to make all your listeners aware, that they may be far and wide, but just make them aware that this Sunday, Sunday the 18th, at 12 o'clock on Digby Park in Borsley Green, we're hosting a community clean-up. So what we do is we go out with local residents to tidy up the local park, make it presentable, make it safe though for local families. And also we'll be hosting a police recruitment event there as well. So if any of your listeners are interested in joining the police, by all means come along and we'll talk to them about it. About how they can go about becoming a police officer. Yeah,
no, I've seen some of the pictures that have been posted over the last about 3-4 months now by I think it's a number of organisations around Borsley Green. You've got Council Shafiq Shah, I know the police. Is it Team Waste Warriors? Waste Warriors are the ones that are sort of doing a huge amount of fantastic work as well.
We work with them.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that again. It's not falling on one individual or the council, or it's the council's responsibility. At the end of the day, we are all suffering from the litter, and especially in assets such as Digby Park. It's our children, it's our sisters, it's our youngsters are going there, and if it's full of rubbish and it's a real hazard and danger for the community, then no one benefits from it. So I really applaud that particular initiative.
We see it as a good way to bring the community together, to be honest. Cleans the place up, makes it safe, but also it brings people together, and we've got numerous contacts as well through it, and I think it's been well received in the community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for those of you that are free on the 18th, please go down to Digby Park. What time is this, sorry?
Borsley Green starts at 12 o'clock. It'll run till about 3 o'clock. It's a community clean-up.
Yeah.
All are welcome, families. Everybody's welcome, and also be the police recruitment events as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that was Sergeant Paxton. So really, thank you for your time. and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you,
for having
Sergeant.
me on
No
the
problem at all. Thank you. So that was the first guest who's going to be here on Monday doing the joint street patrol of Alum Rock Road, and it's great to see that we're working in tandem with the different organisations. Now I'm going to bring the main man at the moment. He seems to be everywhere. That is Mr. Ashiq Hussain. The name, what a name, Ashiq. Absolutely. Ashiq, who is not only sort of a community activist, but he's also thank you, Sergeant. He's also a retailer, a business owner here on Alum Rock as well. So he's got a real sort of interest of Alum Rock to heart as well. So Alum Rock's going to get just mic'd in, and everything's going to be given a once over by the studio manager Ikram. And so if you've got any questions about around Chand Raat, I've certainly got a question, because I know when I was young, Chand Raat wasn't really a phenomenon that I was familiar with. However, in the last, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years in Birmingham, it's becoming a new sort of phenomenon. And I'm just going to obviously ask Ashiq, who's obviously a lot more closer, a bit older than me as well, and he's a bit more sort of closer related to some of the customs. So welcome, Ashiq. How are you? Okay?
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much.
Yeah, good. Walaikum salam. It's nice to have you back in the studios again. So after that introduction, really, I know we touched on Chand Raat the last Eid. However, that was, us sort of working on our individual sort of platforms and our voices. It didn't go as we had hoped and anticipated. But before we even go there, just want to maybe sort of touch on, for those people that aren't familiar with what Chand Raat is, and whether it's a cultural thing or an Islamic thing, because I spoke to some people and they say, look, this has got nothing to do with Islam. So maybe if you are able to just give a bit of a context or background to it.
Definitely. I think last time I was misquoted, but again I would say it's nothing to do with the Islamic religion. However, it's cultural, where people are, they try to enjoy themselves before the Eid, so it's more cultural than I would say anything to do with religion.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So I think it's making a note of that it's more of a cultural thing that we are doing. And we have to bear in mind that Eid al-Fitr, the small Eid after Ramadan, there is that bit Chand Raat, that sort of phrase is perfect for that. But I think for this Eid al-Adha, there is no such thing as Chand Raat, because there is no new moon just before the Eid. So, but I think, am I right in saying a bit like Christmas, really? It's become more of a retail shopping experience, and we've lost the real essence. And same with this, really. I think people have forgot that there's Eid al-Adha, really, and the essence of these Eid of sacrifice, and people are now more concentrating on the shopping, and we've sort of moved away from what Eid and what that family day should be all about.
Eid al-Adha, obviously, as you know, in our religion, it's Sunnat Ibrahimi, and we follow that, and I think every Muslim who's capable should sacrifice. And you're right. I think with regards to last minute shopping, Chand Raat, people who are working, they may not have time, they may have a day off next day for Eid, so the last minute shopping, that's what Chand Raat is supposed to be, in a sense that, okay, it's last minute shopping.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. So I just obviously with the Sergeant Paxton, we gave an insight in terms of what's happening. But I think it's worth, for the benefit of our listeners, to know that we don't just turn up on Monday and Tuesday and expect everything to go. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of discussions going on behind the scenes, and you've been instrumental and pivotal behind making all the resources that we'll be putting in on Monday and Tuesday to make sure everything goes safely over the last few months. So maybe worth, I know Brother Ashiq, you were also very appalled by what happened last Eid, but again, if you want to sort of maybe give it from your perspective in terms of what happened and what sort of caused us to be like a catalyst for change to make sure that isn't repeated in further Eid. So maybe just give us an insight to our listeners, what happened during the last Eid.
Definitely. I mean, last Eid we did request everyone to behave as they should. Unfortunately, that didn't heed. And I'm not on my own. I have a full team, like yourself, like Javed, like Ikram Mirza, Zegum and Shfaid, and the traders of Alum Rock Road are supportive of what we're actually trying to do. Making sure that what happened last time with the dolls, with the music, DJs, dancing, blocking off roads, which obviously caused a lot of issues for not just residents, even for the shoppers. We're hoping that there will not be a repeat of that. And that's the reason we've actually now put into focus and into place with regards to what the sergeant was saying with having policing. Last time we didn't really push for that, but this time we have, because it's antisocial behavior. It's upsetting the residents, it's upsetting the customers, and especially our sisters who are coming here. It's not in our religion to do what happened last Eid. I understand you have fireworks, but please have fireworks safely. You know, make sure you are licensed to do that. There was the people weren't licensed, and luckily there was no injuries yet. There were about close to injuries in a sense where the fireworks actually went into one of the shops. So we've got to be very, very careful, and antisocial behaviour will not be tolerated by the police or the traders or the residents anymore.
Well said. And there's one particular individual here who seems to be completely off track. I'm not going to bother reading his name, but he says people are not going to listen, and there'll be and there'll be a riot. Just let people be. If they ain't bothering you, why are you bothering them?
God forbid. I think the brother, whoever's obviously made that comment, Alum Rock, it's predominantly Muslim, and we should be behaving in the right way. This is the sunnah of our Rasul Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We have beards, we think to ourselves, we have a sunnah of Rasul, yet we don't act on the actual teachings of our Prophet. Peace be upon him, and whichever brother that is, then I think he needs to have a look at what should be done under the sunnah of Rasul Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I think it's disgusting to think like people can drive up and down Alum Rock Road. Drive, it's not that, because you are causing issues for other people. That is the reason we're saying, if this was a wider road, we had parking, there was no roads, we understand people drive, but drive safely. There will be children crossing roads, there will be elderly who will be crossing the roads, and if you're going to drive fast, if you're going to make noise, then you're obviously disturbing the residents, you're disturbing the shoppers, and you are causing danger to the people who are on Alum Rock Road.
And also, we have to look at the wider reputation of Alum Rock Road. People come in here and they think that it's a degrading area. People don't look after it. They've got no self-respect. And if we are going to tolerate such incidents whereby there's no, you mentioned about the fireworks, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And if you're saying that there's nothing wrong with that, why are you bothered? Then you need to seriously sort of have a look at yourself, because that's not something that I want to live around and accept. But obviously, like I said, you are prepared to. And if you think that the boys can come here and abuse or have sexual taunts to our sisters, to our daughters, again, I'm not prepared to sit here and let people get away with that either. And if that means that me just raising my voice, and I'll do that, but obviously you're prepared to sort of let that happen. But we all have our own standards, and that's why Brother Ashiq has taken time out today, not just today, but over the last, I would say, 2 or 3 months, for meetings, and obviously we're also going to touch on the last 2 days as well, in terms of what's happened on Alum Rock Road. And it seems to be there's a real sense of pride and ownership now. That's one thing I've seen actually, whereby there is obviously people think that they can do as they are, and obviously we understand we are in the COVID. People are trying to make a sort of a daily bread for themselves, no doubt, but within the confines of the law by all means. The rent and the rates here in Alum Rock are almost like a city centre. They're very extortionate, and you can't pay anything out of your pocket. So if you have come to Alum Rock recently, you may have seen a lot of clothes are on the Holy Methodist Church. People are putting masalleh now, prayer mats, onto cars, onto railings. These mango boxes now, mango sellers. It seems to be every corner, from whether it's from these forecourts outside the shops, or whether it's from cars. And it is supermarkets, it is fruit and vegetable stores that are being impacted. Obviously we've been now.
I think I'm just going to go back to what the brother says about about the
by all means.
ride. What people don't understand is we were young once as well, and yet we had issues, but we didn't have issues like we have now. But what they don't understand with the word riot, what it does to the area.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Right.
You have a right here. It will put Alum Rock back 20 years. Okay, this is not understood by the youth at the moment. Okay, and when they face the law, that's and they say, well, it's racism. It's not, because you are breaking the law. If you break the law, then the police will punish you for it.
Yeah.
I think talking strongly in regards to riots and things like that. People last time it happened, the residents didn't want it, but it happened. But it put Alum Rock back 15 to 20 years. And hopefully we're not going to be looking at that happening again. This is a vibrant area, and we would like it to stay vibrant. Please, I would request, even the parents and our youth, our brothers, our children, we would ask them to respect elders, respect the actual shoppers who come here, and the residents. You are part and parcel of Alum Rock, so please heed to these words and support us to make Alum Rock the great that it was before.
And that word is key, the one with the R, respect. It is all about respect, and it works two things. We're not trying to curb on your fun. By all means, do so. But within the realms of the law of the land, but also within the culture and the framework that we obviously have here in Alum Rock as well. So, and by all means, come in, have a great shopping experience, spend time with your family or friends. There's plenty of places to eat, to shop, to sit down, sort of chill out. Plenty of dessert places. Enjoy. Come in, and it's open for business. This is what we want. At the same time, we know it's also a family area as well. So, just going to go and read some of the comments, brother Ashiq, if that's okay. Chand Raat is taken as okay. Where are we? We're going to turn on record. Why? Okay, people are okay. Yeah, Chand Raat is taken as antisocial behaviour due to youth letting off fireworks and revving their hired cars, and fireworks as well in the early hours. 12, 1, 2 o'clock. That's no reasonable time to setting off fireworks as well. So, Abdul Qayyum Ansari, well done, Alisab. Yeah, we need enforcement of the relevant laws so that everyone enjoys themselves. And that's key, when to enforce those laws without it becoming a flashpoint as well. Nasser, just to keep you updated, England are about to beat Paxton at Edgbaston. Thank you. Please, Nasser, we obviously aren't, we're both cricket fans, but we don't have the scoreboard here, so Nasser, please keep us updated.
England need 24 runs in 30 balls.
Oh, they'll make that quite easily as well. And that individual has come back as well. And again, who cares? Pakistan are so-and-so in cricket. Javed, after get your Mendy done, and we're going to come on to that actually. Some of the stores, what measures are in place to avoid the fiasco of last Chand Raat. We are going to come on that as well, and what measures are in place. Okay, so in terms of, obviously we know what happened last Chand Raat, and we were all appalled by the following day when we saw some of those pictures come through. And so a number of organisations have come together now, and we've had a series of meetings, which obviously you were part of as well. So maybe you want to just sort of, in a summary, just give the listeners and the viewers an update in terms of what was discussed, some of the issues, and what sort of hope or vision have we got for Alum Rock moving forward.
I think last time we spoke, and since then we've had meetings in regards to what's happening in Alum Rock. Unfortunately, it's sad for me to say that people now referring to Alum Rock as rag market. That's very, very unfortunate, and that is because there are illegal traders. There's rubbish. But since the last program we had and the meetings that we had, and because of the Chand Raat, what happened, now we have discussed with the relevant authorities to get rid of these issues. So yesterday, we actually had the trading standards and the licensing officers up and down Alum Rock Road, warning road traders, making sure the footpaths are clear for people to actually walk past, making sure the families are safe, children are safe. People are here with buggies, pushchairs, even wheelchairs. And unfortunately, the way Alum Rock Road is at the moment, it's difficult for wheelchair users to actually, move around Alum Rock. So that's the reason we have been in touch with the relevant authorities, and the relevant authorities will take strong action from now on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not, one person's responsibility here. So the last 2 days we have had the police, the trading standards, and also the licensing, to making sure not only do the shoppers play their part, but also at the same time, parking enforcement, the traffic, everything is, within the right side of the law. And over the last sort of 24, 48 hours, we've seen a number of should we say, contraindications, infringements of stuff that shouldn't be happening. You want to touch on that, and also what are you expecting the council, and particularly the trading standards and the licensing, to do moving forward?
Well, the licensing department and trading standards of Birmingham City Council have now promised to increase their coming onto Alum Rock Road and making sure that these road traders, I would call them road traders, are moved on, and they are prosecuted to the law. And the tippers, that's the other thing I'm very, very concerned about, is the tippers. They are watching you, they will prosecute you, whether you're a trader, whether you're a resident. If you're going to be tipping, then you are being watched and you will be prosecuted.
Yeah.
So I would say that let's be sensible about what we do, how we do things. Yes, we are going to be working with the local authority and the local police. Again, we've got some concerns about certain traders, but obviously we're picking those up as well as we're going along, making sure anybody who comes here to shop, they are safe, whether it's to do with fire, anything, they are safe. So that is the remit that we're actually looking at. And again, Mr. Ali, I would say to our youth, this is our youth, you are part of Alum Rock.
Absolutely.
Please, support us to make sure Alum Rock gets back to the greatness that it was. I keep saying this because, we were youth once, and we wanted to make sure Alum Rock is great. And it's sad, when people from other areas, they call us, Alum Rock names. And, I would, put my hand out to the youth of Alum Rock to say, what, enough is enough. We need to make sure our homes, our streets are safe and secure and clean.
And Brother Ashiq, both of us are born and bred Alum Rockies, really. And you know what? We wouldn't go anywhere else. This is our home. And I must say that, the amount of diversity, the amount of richness that we have in terms of some of the shops, it is unbelievable. You can get anything and everything here in Alum Rock. And also the people of Alum Rock are really hospitable. They are, kind, generous, they are welcoming. Are some of those people that are outside of the area, when they come here, one of the things that we sort of picked up from our steering group is that there aren't any public toilets here. However, you go to Brother Ashiq's shop here, whether you buy anything or not, they will let you use their facilities. I know you go to other areas, they'll say to you blatantly, you buy something, fine. If not, no, you can't. What other areas? And I know, if there's anything that goes wrong, whether it's personal or professional, the people of Alum Rock will, stand shoulder to shoulder with you as well. And this is the spirit that we have within Alum Rock. Plenty to celebrate as well. And you know what? It is very diverse, very multicultural as well. There's Somalians here, the Pashtun, there's, you have the Pakistani community here, you have the East European community. It's a real melting pot, and we all get on, and we just want to make sure that that's 365 days in a year, not just, a few few days here, and you know, and we don't just talk it, we also walk it as well. And this is why we're saying we are better than the image that people think of Alum Rock. And you know, if we who are living Alum Rock aren't going to celebrate and be proud of calling us, you know, Alum Rockies or people from Alum Rock, then who are, you know, and we have to, you know, portray a positive image as well. So, you know, moving forward now, brother Ashiq, come to the Chand Raat. So, as always, you know, fortunately now, is going to be celebrated over 2 days. Some will be celebrating on Tuesday, others will be celebrating on Wednesday, doesn't matter. But on Monday, we have a joint operation between the Traders Association by community organisations such as Faith Watch and Alum Rock Community Forum. Also, we have the local police and any other individual, like-minded individual that wants to come and be part of that community initiative, you know, join us on Monday evening from 7 o'clock onwards. So, you know, obviously you've been a trader as well. You know, previous Chand Raats, what sort of issues have really surfaced that, you know, you want to sort of curtail or make sure there aren't really a negative experience for those people that, you know, come on Chand Raat or Eid Day?
Again, as you says, Mr. Ali, we're not here to spoil anybody's fun. We're part and parcel of that culture. We will have fun, but that doesn't mean that we would have fun by upsetting others. If you're gonna have music, please make sure it's at the times that it's allowed by law, not loud. Again, you know, Muslims should be, you know, be dancing to music. These are the things that actually happen by blocking roads, blocking the whole of Alum Rock Road. That's not acceptable.
Yes.
Simple. And we are part and parcel of you. The community.
Yes.
And we want to stand by the community. We were and sincerely requesting the community to stand by us.
Yeah.
In the sense that, you know, let's please make Alum Rock safe on Chand Raat. For what happened last time, hopefully it will not happen again. And if it does happen, I'm sorry, but the law will be there to take note, and they will be prosecuting people. Again, you know, it's something that we want to move away from.
Yes.
You know, we do not want our youth to be you know, arrested by police or anything like that. So we want to make sure that our youth behave the way they should under the Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. You know, and I see a lot of our youth having this Sunnah of Rasul. You know, they have their beards. You know, please, I would, you know, request that let's behave that way.
Yeah,
you know, in the right way. And I think, you know, what happened in Chand Raat last time, it was despicable, I'll be honest with you.
Absolutely. So if you want to dial in, the studio number is 0121 682 9735, and put your comments onto Facebook as well if you want to alternatively put your comments on there. But more in particular, brother Ashiq, was you know, some people are sort of still saying, you know, we're, you know, curtailing their fun, what's wrong with selling mangoes, but you know what, we you know, I tell you what was wrong was people were, you know, drunk when they were dancing on Alum Rock Road. People were high on drugs. And if you still think that is acceptable, then, like I said, you know, I don't really, I'm going to rest my case there. But sort of bringing on to sort of, you know, on past Chand Raats and in particular this one here, you know, what's your message to those people that are sort of coming or maybe thinking of putting a Mendy stall there or a jewellery store there on the night? You know, we're not saying don't come, but there's the right way of doing it, isn't there?
There is a right way of doing it. Make sure that the materials that you use are the right ones, making sure that they don't cause allergies, especially with the henna, Mendy, and you know, this has happened so many times before. If you are then coming to put on stalls on Alum Rock Road, make sure you've got the correct licenses. Make sure you've got permission from trading standards, because I can say to you, trading standards and licensing will be patrolling Alum Rock Road. And if you haven't got the correct license, they will be prosecuting.
Absolutely.
So or moving you on?
Yeah, and because they were there the last day or two and given sort of issuing guidance and advice for people about not doing what they shouldn't be, and like I said, for you to be able to sell anything on the pavement, on the road, you need a street trader's license. I can't now rock up and start selling from the pavement. We're not living in a third world country. This country has laws of how to operate and how to go about sort of doing business, and let's make sure that Alum Rock has the same laws being applied to it, irrespective of what you may think. And with regards to you mentioned about sort of obviously the henna and stuff. There's next week when the trading standards and the licensing come, they won't be issuing advice and guidance because they have already done that this time round. So those repeat offenders will be given notices and will be taken to court as well, and they also have the power to confiscate all their their products or whatever they may be selling as well. So it's just it's just common courtesy for you to not to disrupt or hurt any other businesses that are sort of abiding by the law. There has to be a consistent rule for everyone.
I think you just mentioned regards to what's happening on Alum Rock Road now with the stalls coming on every single day. We don't want this to be a shanty town. If people are building new shops, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because it brings in more custom, it brings in, the area becomes vibrant. But when you have sheds, that is not acceptable, because obviously you need planning permission, you need to make sure that you meet the criteria of the local authority. With regards to, what's been going on for the last a few weeks now, since the mangoes people are complaining, the local traders are complaining because they are paying their business rates, they are paying their staff, they are paying their rents, rates, everything. And yet you've got people who can come from anywhere and sell on the side of the street. And, as I said before, if they were any cheaper, you'd understand, but they're not. So let's make sure that we don't buy from these road traders and buy from your regular shops, because once the mango season finishes, you won't see them here, but you will still see the traders who are on Alum Rock Road. They will be still trading, they will be still supporting the community as such. And with through the COVID, a lot of people took risks to stay open, to make sure that the community didn't have to go in a way where there was no food available. They were trying to make sure we had everything what we required. So let's support the real traders who are here on Alum Rock Road trying to do an honest business.
Yeah, well, so I'm just going to go back to some of the comments. We're getting a real mixed response here. We've got some conflating or conflicting views really. So where are we? People are not going to listen. Okay, we've done that one. What measures? Okay, done that one. Well said, Ali. Khan Afghan. Focus on your own life. Why this? Please just. Okay, that's fine. Assalamu alaikum, bye Ali, and assalamu alaikum to your guests as well. Thank you. Okay, what are the enforcements for rogue traders like mango sellers who don't pay any business rate? Fines, absolutely. And also, like I said earlier, they can confiscate whatever products that they are selling as well. Shabab, how are you? Okay. Where are we? Moving on. Cars are going to be okay. Great program. A program by locals who actually care for their area of Alum Rock, make Alum Rock great as a community. We can't make that happen. Absolutely. Like I said, we are local people. We, spent all our lives here. We know, the culture and what is acceptable and what isn't. And we're here to make sure that the residents have an area that they're proud of, but also the shoppers are here who invested hundreds and thousands of pounds, and they don't go out of business and they don't get cut out by these road traders and these sort of people that just prop up business just to sort of come out of nowhere. So they are taking trade away from the supermarkets who pay business rates and taxes. Are these mango sellers registered? Absolutely. That's a great question. Of course they're not registered. That's why they're able to undercut everything. These guys work endless hours voluntary who try to make their area a better thriving community. Keep up the great work. Well said, Brother Javed. Salam to both brothers. Stay blessed and keep up the good work, brother Shafayat as well. So we get in, like I said, bit of those people that are sort of understanding and what's and sort of looking beyond what we're trying to get. They understand the message we're getting. There's a few people that I think want the Dole and want the Tamasha as well. They want this to be some sort of a blockbuster movie. And like I said, not on our area, not under our watch as well.
I would ask those people. I'll be honest with you. It's when people are converted, that's fine, but it's converting that we do not converted. And I'm asking those people to come and support us.
Absolutely.
Let's make this area back to what it used to be. And again, with regard, with the help and support of the Jet Shop with Brother Shafayat and Brother Zegum, we are trying to get investment into Alum Rock.
Yes.
Again, make sure it's clean for our children. Make sure the schools are better for our children, it's. I'll give you a prime example, Mr. Ali. Is insurances. On the cars. We complain because our area we have high insurance, and the reason is because of not because they're stolen cars. Okay, because of the way we drive, because of the way we have accidents, and unfortunately, recently there's been quite a few accidents around within 1 mile square. A circle. That there's been some serious accidents and people have lost their lives because we are not adhering to the speed limits. We were youth, we had cars, but we didn't speed the way it's happening at the moment. So again, I would ask those brothers, who have made comments that look, what, we are part of you, you're part of us, and let's be, one Alum Rock.
I know you've got a business here. We're just going to sort of move on the conversation now. Looking forward after Chand Raat, I've got this real vision for Alum Rock to be like Soho Road, to be like city centre, to be like Ladypool Road, where it's thriving. All the shoppers are working together to make sure that they're bringing the necessary investment. To make sure, I remember when I used to be a student coming back from city centre, when I saw those lights coming from the bridge down to Saltley Gate, it made me proud. He gave a message that this is a vibrant, thriving area. We used to celebrate Christmas, Eid, Diwali all in one, saying that this is open for business. I know you're trying to do something behind the scenes. What's your message to those people that want to work collectively together to make Alum Rock a prosperous and a thriving business area?
Definitely. I mean, we would ask for their support, and if they need our support, we are there for them. It would be great to get as many people as we can on board to support us on this initiative. I think it's more of the the residents of Alum Rock. As you rightly said, we've lived all our lives here. I can remember there was hardly any cars on Alum Rock Road, and we used to have one chip shop on Alum Rock Road. Two, sorry, one further down and one at the back. I'm showing my age here now. So. But definitely, please contact us. If you want to support and if you want this area to be better, contact us or give us your contact. We will contact you. As I says, let's make it into an area which you rightly said, Handsworth now. When you look at it, it's vibrant, it's clean. People want to go there. We're asking the local authority to make sure we have parking so the residents are not inconvenienced. Okay, we're asking for toilet facilities for visitors or the shoppers. So again, the residents, they don't have any inconvenience. We're asking for to have the clean area, making sure that there's no rubbish left on roads. And I would stress to my colleagues, my comrades in sense who are traders on Alum Rock Road, please, you have a responsibility to the residents of Alum Rock. Please do not leave your rubbish on the corners of any street, because that is blighting our area. As you rightly said, we've lived all our life here, and then there's a saying, you can take a person out of Alum Rock, but you can never take Alum Rock out of a person.
Well said. That's a great way to finish the program, brother Ashiq, as well. And the final message from me is, whether you're celebrating your Eid on a Tuesday or Wednesday, Please enjoy the day safely with your families, and let's have a safe and a wonderful Chand Raat. Please look after yourselves and each other. Until next week, Allah Hafiz and God bless.